Good morning, afternoon, or evening. And thank you for working through those sections on figuring out how populations change over time and also how we sample populations. I want to go over that honeybee population data from the warm up, which is actually true. Honeybees have been declining over time, which is actually a real problem in our world because if there's fewer bees and there's fewer pollinators for different flowers, that affects different other insects and other species of flowers Um, as well as our agriculture. So, that being said, when you looked at the first statement was saying, which statement describes births and deaths when the honeybee population was stable? So, that blue side of that graph you just saw, that means that there were the same amount of births and deaths. When you looked at the kind of further on in time on the yellow side of that graph, there were the population was decreasing. What that means is that there were fewer births than deaths. I also kind of think of this as maybe there were more deaths than births. You can think of it either way. Think of that valve that you saw in yesterday's video where it was letting more of the water out um, and that the whole container was decreasing over time. So, what you're going to look at is practice using some evidence. We're going to look at some evidence cards uh, to evaluate evidence like ecologists do. Even though we have heard that the Glacier Sea moon jelly population is increasing in size, evaluating evidence will help us to be more sure about the claim and also help us learn more about how the population changed over time. So, in this section, actually, before I get to that part, the last section, you should have learned that a sample is a small part that is meant to show what the whole is like. Go ahead and add that into your science notebook if you haven't already, and then you can come back to this. All right. So, samples that represent as much of the whole as possible will provide stronger evidence. So, again, that sample picture that you see right there is taking just a few things from the whole population, but you can see with this example, there's a lot of little people with different colors of different sorts in the sample, and that's at least somewhat representative of the whole. All right. You're going to look at evidence card A and evidence card B. What I want you to do for each one is make sure that you are looking at the picture, look at the key and the graph, and then compare both cards to come up with a conclusion about which one might explain better what's happening to this moon jelly population over time. All right. Now, and this is kind of a fuzzy screenshot. You're going to have to zoom in on your computer to see it. I'm sorry, that's the best I could get it into the Google form. All right, so go ahead and figure out which one you think best represents what's happening to the moon jelly population after you study each one carefully. Good luck.